you guys? How are you? How are you? How are you? I'm back. I'm back. I'm so happy to be back. All right. So listen, one of the things that I am often asked on a regular is, Jen, what are the steps to starting a nonprofit? Jen, I want to start a nonprofit. What are the steps? All right. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about today the steps to starting your nonprofit. Okay. Now, I'm the one that says starting your nonprofit is not filing that 1023 form. Did you hear what I said? While that 1023 form is an important step, it is not a part of the initial steps. Okay. Some people will say, start your nonprofit, go down there and fill out that 1023 form. And honey, don't fool around and fill out that 1023 EZ form. You understand? No. All that form says is that your business is now designated or determined to be nonprofit. That's all it says. It doesn't say anything other than your business is now determined to be nonprofit, not for profit, or tax exempt. Okay. It does not indicate that you have started anything. It just says that you are recognized and determined to be a nonprofit. That does not mean you started. Does not mean you started. Okay. It just means that you have now properly registered your business to be recognized as a nonprofit. Did you hear what I said? Not your program, not your program, not your program, but your business to be recognized. Okay. But there is so much more that you need to prepare. God, I feel my help. Prepare before you file. So we're going to walk through some things that I want you guys to do. Why am I doing this? Because many of you think that you are starting your nonprofit when you file that piece of paper. Lord have mercy. It looks like this. Jen, I got my nonprofit. Jen, I got my nonprofit. I got my website. I got my nonprofit, Jen. I got my board members. I got my mother, my brother, my dog, my cat, my fish. Right? I got a board and I got my paperwork, Jen. I have started a nonprofit and now I'm ready for a grant. No, you have a website. You have an application that has been approved, that your business is now declared or recognized as not for profit, but you have not started the business. Huh? You've not started the business. Now, I'm on a mission in 2025. I'm on a mission to tell y'all the truth. I'm on a mission to tell you the truth. I'm on a mission to clear the air. I am on a mission to just kind of wrap up all these loose ends about why am I stuck. Jen, I started my nonprofit, but now I'm stuck. Jen, I started my nonprofit, but now I got a board that can't help me move the organization forward. Jen, I started my nonprofit and I'm doing everything out of my pocket. Jen, I started my nonprofit and I don't have any donors. I don't have any funders. Jen, I started my nonprofit and I'm funding everything by myself. Why is it that 87 out of 100 of you are stuck? You got a nonprofit. Why are you stuck? What's causing you to be stuck? I believe it's because you didn't do these things before you went and got that piece of paper. And you thought that piece of paper was starting a nonprofit. You thought that program is what you started. You thought you started a program. And because you are passionate about the program, because you are clear about what you want to do in this program, because you know and understand why this program is important to you, but you've forgotten that the people who are in your program are not your donors, are not your funders. That is not the place where you can sustain yourself. And I know. Many of you may even be thinking, well, Jen, I'm a nonprofit. No, I don't have a budget. Jen, I'm a nonprofit. I'm not supposed to have any money. Jen, I'm a nonprofit. It's not about the money, Jen. I just started this because I wanted to help. Jen, I started my nonprofit and I'm funding everything by myself. Jen, I started my nonprofit and everybody's a volunteer. Why? Why? Not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but you can't grow. Your program can't expand. There's no way with that thinking or structure. I feel my help. I feel my help. The structure that you have put in place says we're going to be under resourced. That means our program is going to be limited. And that means I got to do everything by myself. That's how you structured it. Why would you start with yourself in chains and bondage of lack? We have an important work to do. Put work in the chat. Put work in the chat. We have an important work to do. And while that work is meaningful and while that work is impactful, it's not free. The website costs money. The phone costs money. Gas costs money. Materials and supplies cost money, right? You know you need funding, which is why you want the grant. You know you need funding, which is why you're doing the event. You know you need funding, which is why you're paying for everything out of your. Can we just set it up? Can we just set it up to get our expenses paid? That's it. That's not profit. That's not wrong. It's not wrong to have a business that gives a valuable product to the community and to have the resource to pay to continue to do it. Because why? If you do not have the money coming in to pay, to provide for you to continue to do the work has got to start. Now, why would we start something and then not be able to continue it? Why would we start something and not be able to sustain it? Who does that? The nonprofit does that. 87 out of 100. Did you hear what I said? 87 of you out of 100. What's up with the other 13? What's up with them? The other 13, they started with a structure and a system to sustain themselves. They have the money for salaries. They have the money for team. They have money to grow and expand their program. Are they wrong? Are they wrong for having the resources to develop and to grow their program? Now, listen, I'm not saying you're wrong by being stuck. I'm just saying you don't know any better. Y'all don't mind if I tell you the truth. Is this a safe space that I can tell you the truth? Now, listen, for those of you guys who are new to me, my name is Jennifer. I am a nonprofit expert, okay? 38 years of doing this work. I'm a very direct person. Okay, I'm a very direct person. So if you're running across this page and you're like, oh my God, does she talk like this all the time? Yes, I do. That's a part of my charm that I'm going to tell you the truth for free. Okay, I'm going to tell you the whole truth. I'm not going to hold back. And then I'm going to go on about my business. Okay, it's up to you. Don't get on my phone. Don't get on my calendar. I am here to tell you the truth about starting, about running, and about sustaining your nonprofit business. Why does that matter to me? It matters to me because our work is important. It matters to me because your mission matters. It matters to me because we are in the business of result and impact and change and improving our community. And I just want you to be equipped. I want you to be prepared. I want you to be positioned. And I want you to have enough resource so that you can continue to do it. I want you to have enough resource so that when you retire, your program will continue. Now, that's my wish for you. I don't know what your wish is for you. That's my wish for you. And having done this work for so long, I've been doing this work longer than some of y'all been on this earth. I was doing this before Google. I was doing this before YouTube. I was doing this before the internet. I've been doing this a long time. And what I know to be true is this: money is not your problem. Lack of knowledge is your problem. Money is not your problem. You didn't know is your problem. Jen, I didn't know I could have 8 streams of revenue. Jen, I didn't know the role and the responsibility of the board. Jen, I didn't know what I was supposed to do when I started my nonprofit or what I was supposed to have in place before I feel. I didn't know. I didn't know, Jen, that I could get a salary. I didn't know, Jen. I didn't know. I didn't know how to put together a fundraising strategy. I didn't know. It's all them things that you don't know that's got you stuck. All right. So let's get into the know. KNOW. Put that in the chat. Put that in the chat. First of all, I want to say thank you all for liking, thank you for sharing, and thank you for subscribing. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe, turn on the bell, and follow me and be alerted for when I'm go live. All right, here we go. These are the things that you want to make sure that you have in place before you fill out that piece of paper. All right, Jen, I want to start a nonprofit. What do I do first? The first thing that you want to do is make sure that you have a defined mission and vision for the business. Did you hear what I said? That you have a defined mission and clear vision. The vision is so clear that you can write it down and make it plain if you know, you know. You understand? Many of you have an idea of what you want to do to start, but you don't have an idea of how are we going to complete it? How are we going to sustain it month after month after month? 12 whole months and then year after year after year. That part of the vision is kind of vague. You all have an idea to start, but you have not made it plain. How are we going to fund it? How are we going to grow it? Who are our partners? Who are our supporters? Who are our collab? All that's vague. How do we know it's vague? Because you are not doing it. If it was plain, then do it. If it was plain, if the vision was plain, then do it. You don't have to pay for everything out of your pocket, right? Your mission, the clarity and the conciseness of your mission explains your purpose, who you serve, and the problem that you aim to solve. Why and who's that for? The people that would be supporting it. That's not for you. That's not to go up on your website. That is your introduction. That is your introduction to the donor, to the funder, to the country. This is my vision. This is our mission. This is the purpose for our organization. This is who we serve. This is the problem that we solve. Your vision outlines the future impact that you will have. Who is that for? The grant funder. The grant funder is not funding your now. The grant funder is funding the future, right? You may apply today, but you may not get the funding until March, April, or May. They want to know, what are your plans for March, April, and May and beyond? You've got a vision that outlines not just what I'm starting, but what we're growing, not just what I'm beginning, but what we're going to walk through. Do you have that clarity? If you don't have that clarity, then you don't have the steps, you don't have the strategy, you don't have the ability to complete. Like, I don't have a plan of where I'm going. I'm just out here. I'm just out here wandering. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what it looks like when I get there. I just know I'm busy. I just know I got passion, but no plan. No vision of what it is that we're trying to accomplish. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Let me keep going because I don't want anybody to feel, a certain kind of way. Number 2, before you go get this piece of paper, I want you to research, to ensure, come on now, to ensure that there is a genuine need for your service. That there is a genuine need for your service, and that your organization is not duplicating efforts provided by someone else in the community, right? We are in the business of meeting needs. We're not in the business of program. What's a program by definition? A program by definition is a group of activities that are intentionally and strategically designed to produce a result, need met. mission accomplished. So it's not the activities. Many of you have started your nonprofit organization because of the activities that you want to do. Jen, I want to help the homeless. Jen, I want to help the elderly. Jen, I want to feed the homeless. Jen, I want to hand out, I want to mentor. Jen, all of them activities. Who else in in your community is doing that? Why is it important that you know who else is doing that? Because those people are already getting funding likely, and you are going to be competing for funding from those that are doing what you want to do. Now, there is nothing wrong if the need is so great and the need cannot be addressed, but that needs to be documented. There's proof in that. Right? You've done your due diligence. You've researched, not just guessed, not assumed. You researched. You have the data to prove that your organization is and can meet the need. You got to do your research. You got to do your analysis of your community. And many of you don't do that, right? Because now I got my nonprofit, Jen, but we don't have any donors. Jen, I started my nonprofit, but we don't have any funders. Jen, I started my nonprofit and I'm funding everything by myself. But the organization down the street is getting funding. How come you not getting funding? They've got a building and a staff. How come you don't have a building and a staff? Who's funding them? And how come they're not funding you? Do you understand? You've got to analyze the community's needs. You've got to know, what are the existing services? What are the gaps in support? Create a niche. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Be different. Dare to be different, honey. Dare to create your own lane, rather. I'm going to give you an example. When I used to work at a very large mission in downtown Los Angeles, there were probably within a 7 block radius about 6 or 7 missions, right? Now, each mission served the population of homelessness. However, the niche of each mission was different, right? One mission may serve women only. One mission may serve the homeless and their animals. Another may serve the homeless with families. Another may serve their homeless, but they got a job. So now we've got single room occupancy, right? Until they're able to get on their feet. We're all serving the homeless, but in a unique, individual way. I'm just saying that to give this. Make yourself your own lane. Create a niche that you stand apart. You're set apart. All right? Do that before you get the piece of paper. Because now you got a piece of paper and you want a grant. And the grant funder is going to want to know, what community are you serving? And the organizations that are in your community that do similar work are also approaching that grant funder. You're competing. You're competing. You understand? Number 3, I want y'all to have a plan. I want you to have a plan, a solid plan, not an idea. An idea is not a plan. I want you to have a solid plan that's going to guide you, a plan that includes goals and objectives for financial stability. Can we get that kind of plan, please? Not just a plan to deliver your program. No, a plan for the business. A business plan. A plan that says, this is our vision. This is our mission. These are our program. These are our program services. And these are the strategies to identify the donors, the funders, the supporters, the contributors, the volunteers, the board members that can help move this vision forward. Many of you don't even know how to put your board together because you don't even know what you need. I don't have a plan of how we're going to grow, to identify the people, the resource, the strengths to help us get there. You're just like, Jen, I'm after a piece of paper. I got my nonprofit, Jen. I just filled out this so that I could get a piece of paper. Your nonprofit is not a piece of paper. It is a business that has a structure. It has a structure. It has a financial structure. It has a communication structure. It has a marketing structure. It's not a piece of paper. So when you start based upon the goals, based upon the objectives, based upon how your organization plans and positions itself to grow, your plan says this is what we're communicating. This is how much it's going to cost. This is who we need to have on our team. This is how much money we need to be bringing in every single month in order to do this program. But some of y'all are just starting out of passion this program. And that program is nothing but an expense. Starting that program is not a business plan. It is a program plan. Who God? I don't know if you heard me. Your program plan is not a business plan. Your program plan does not cause you to generate revenue. Your program plan does not generate resources. No, that's a business plan. And as the executive director, as the president and CEO, that is your job. Your job is to have a plan, not just to prepare for the program, but to prepare for the business, the organization, to have the resources that it needs to generate to sustain itself. And many of you have not thought about that, which is why you started that program and you're paying for everything out of your pocket. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4, you still paying for everything out of your pocket. I don't have a budget, Jen. Jen, we don't have any donors or funders. Mm-mm. Nope. We don't have a budget. Every dollar we raise goes to program. Every dollar we raise goes to program. Every dollar we raise goes to program, Jen. We have events, but that's not enough to sustain us. That's not enough to grow. That's not enough to hire team and staff, which means what? You're doing everything by yourself. Why? Because you don't have a plan. Just get a plan, please. Okay? Just get a plan. Get a plan with action steps. How about that? A plan that includes what is essential and necessary for you to grow. What does that mean? You got a vision. That means you know what your program is. You know what your program impact is. You know what it looks like when your mission is accomplished. Who is that for? The donors, the funders, the supporters, the contributors. They need to know that before they invest. They need to know those things before they invest. How much does this operations cost? How much does the program cost? You need to know that so you know what to ask for, right? Jen, I need a grant. I need a grant, Jen. Well, what's your budget? How much do you need? I don't know, as much as I can get. I don't know, as much as I can get. Well, that's vague enough. No. We've got to tell them this is how much we need. This is the gap in our financials. They're not going to fund 100% of your organization's program. And you've got to have a plan, a strategy, knowledge of how you're going to replace the grant dollars as you are spending it. You can't wait till all the money is gone and then turn around and be like, oh my gosh, we don't have any money. Now we need more money. No, as you have daily expenses, you have daily revenue. As you have daily expenses, you have daily revenue. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Before you go get that piece of paper, honey, before you go get that paper. I know everybody's rushing to start. Everybody's rushing to start. Now you done started and had to stop, had to turn around, had to rewind. Now you got to spend more money to redo the board. Now you got to spend more money to redo the website. It's costing you money and time, not knowing. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's my pleasure to tell you. It's my pleasure to tell you. Okay. Now let me tell you this. I do not want you to get on my calendar. I do not want you to get in my inbox. I do not want you to call me and say, Jen, I really want to start my nonprofit. What should I do? I'm telling you what to do. I'm telling you what to do right now. Are y'all listening? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? I'm telling you right now what to do. You only call me when you say, Jen, I need help to do it. Okay. But the what to do, I'm telling you what to do. I'm telling you what to do. You don't need to call me. You don't need to inbox me. I'm telling you what to do. Okay. If you need help doing it, we can have that conversation. But I'm going to be awfully mad that I done spent all this time to explain it and you listen to it and then call me and say, tell me again. Say it again, Jen. That's what replays are for. I'm so glad to be over here on the YouTube, honey. I am happy to be over here on the tuberations. You understand? I'm happy because you can hit replay. You can listen to this over and over and over again. Okay. You're not missing anything. I'm telling you everything. You're not missing anything. I'm telling you everything. For those of you guys who are new to me, my name is Jennifer. I am a nonprofit expert. 38 years of experience. I'm a professional fundraiser. I am a grant writer. I'm a nonprofit strategist. I've worked in every single position in the nonprofit on the business side. It was not my passion, it was my job. It was my job to raise money. It was my job. I had to raise as much as $12 million a year. It was my job to raise money. It was my job to get grant funding. It was my job to train 1,000 leaders nationally and internationally on how to run and to fund and to support their nonprofits. Okay. It doesn't matter what your program is. It doesn't matter what your community is. It doesn't matter what your mission is. I've raised money for it. Okay. And I'm telling you exactly what you need to have in place before you get that piece of paper. Because this is starting the business. Now you're able to share and show your product of the business. This is not your product. Jen, I got my nonprofit. Jen, I got my nonprofit. Jen, I got my nonprofit and I got a website. This is not a nonprofit. This is a piece of paper. But being able to communicate, this is our mission. This is our awareness, and this is our knowledge about how our business is important in the community. This is our plan of how we're going to execute the business. Now you're ready to start. That piece of paper doesn't mean anything other than the IRS has acknowledged you as a not-for-profit business. That's all it means. You know what I'm saying? That's all it means. That piece of paper is not going to raise you any money. That piece of paper is not the golden ticket. That piece of paper is not going to cause a donor, a funder, a supporter to give you money. That piece of paper is not going to do that. Your mission is. The need for your program is. Being clear about what you do and how much that work costs. That's the conversation with your donor, with your funder, with your supporter, not that piece of paper. You understand? All right. The next thing that you want to do is establish a board. Now, I know many of you get in front of that piece of paper and then you make a decision that you want to um, put down names mother, brother, dog, cat, fish, right? Mother, brother, dog, cat, fish to fill out the piece of paper. But establishing a board of people who can provide strategic guidance, who can help assist the organization generate the resources needed, that come with different skill sets and know their role and responsibility in helping your organization grow. But again, many of you were rushing to get that piece of paper, thinking that piece of paper was starting, that you put your mother, your brother, your dog, or cat, your fish, and they can't help you. They can't help you because they don't know what to do. You were not building or putting them in place to help move the business forward. You put them in place to get that piece of paper. I'm going to say that again for the people in the bushes. You did not put them in place to help you move the organization from the community standpoint. Their role is external, not internal. I'm going to say that again. Their role is external, not internal. So now you've got people who you've put on your board because you were more interested in getting that piece of paper than growing your business. And now you've got these people, they don't have any connections, they don't have any reach, they don't know what they're supposed to do. You don't know what they're supposed to do, but you got that piece of paper, honey, and now you're stuck. You got that piece of paper and now you don't know what to do next. Am I right or am I right? Am I right or am I right? Please define what is it that our business, our organization needs to grow? Who are our ideal donors? What types of industries and businesses align with the work that we do? Where might the streams of revenue come from, and who are the people that have connections to those places and spaces? Can we get all that ironed out first so that when we get that piece of paper, we're ready to go? We're ready to show them that we're ready to go. We've got not just our website, we've got not just people that are saying that they're board members, but now we have a plan, we have a vision, we understand what our need is that we're meeting, and we can articulate that. And then next, can we get a budget, please? Funders want to see that you've planned for the financial sustainability and that you understand your operational and programmatic costs. Why is that important? Because that's what their money is covering. Did you hear what I said? Funders want to see that you have planned for financial stability and that you understand the operational and programmatic costs. Why do they care? Because that's where their money is going. You want to create a startup budget that includes program expenses, administration costs, right? Fundraising needs. And you want to identify who are your sources of revenue. There is no one stream of revenue. You have eight, you have eight minimum streams of revenue. What are the eight streams of revenue, Jen? What are the eight streams of revenue? Now, listen, in my previous videos, I want you guys to go down to my video list. I talk about the eight streams of revenue. Okay, so I'm going to go through them, but I'm not going to explain them. Each stream of revenue is in place to ensure that your organization has the revenue needed to operate. You have eight. Everybody has eight. Every business, put business in the chat. Every business has multiple streams of revenue. Every business has multiple streams of revenue. So you have individuals. These are your regular donors, your monthly donors, your major donors, your annual donors, your regular donors, people. Then you have businesses and corporations, right? You have in kind, you have events. What makes these events successful? People that buy the tickets, people that attend, right? People that sponsor. That after that event, you have a plan and a strategy to move the people from here to here for ongoing revenue, right? You have grants. Grants are great, but grants are not going to cover 100% of what you got going on. And the grant funder is going to ask, where else does money come from? How do you plan to sustain what we just supported? You have program fees, products and services, and partnerships and collaboration. Where's your money coming from? Jen, I'm the only donor. Jen, I'm the only funder. Jen, we have events every now and then. Jen, we get in kind, we get gift cards and, all them things are great, but you need cash to pay the lights. You need cash to pay the phone. Out of every dollar, 30 cents goes to operation, 70 cents goes to program. That's not profit. That's not profit. But many of you are putting every dime into program, every dime into program, every dime into program. Well, now there's no money to run the business. There's no money to fundraise. There's no money to grow the business. There's no money to expand. There's no money for training. There's no money for experts. Everything went to that program. That program is nothing but an expense. Nothing but an expense. You've got to have the business side generating the money so that this program can continue to have the resource needed to operate. You did not start a program, you started a business. So you've got to create a budget. You've got to know how much is it going to cost month to month to run this program, to run the business. Many of you haven't even factored that. You didn't even think about that. That is not defined in a piece of paper. That doesn't magically appear from a piece of paper. Capiche? All right, here we go. All right. You want to make sure that you have a record keeping system, that you have a system and a structure. What are you keeping record of? You're keeping record of revenue. You're keeping records of donors. You're keeping record of expenses. You're keeping record of income. You're keeping record of impact. Do you have a record keeping system? Are you managing that your organization, your business is achieving what you need to, or are we just winging it? No, Jim, we don't have a donor file. No, Jim, we don't have a budget. No, Jim, we don't have a list of donors. Mm-mm. No. No, Jim, we don't have a communication plan. Nope. We're just kind of, we're just running it by instinct, according to passion. Why are these things important? Because when you make an introduction to a donor, to a funder, you got to have a case for support. Put case, CASE, a case for support. The case for support explains why your nonprofit exists, what it does, why people should support it, where their money is going, how you're communicating with them that you've in fact achieved what you said that you were going to do. What are we telling the donors? You got passion? No. You want them to trust in, you want them to believe in, you want them to have confidence in your organization's ability to achieve your mission. That's what they're investing in. They're not investing in your passion. They're not giving you money because you got this piece of paper. No, they are inspired, they are inclined, they are educated by why what you do is important by your case for support. Please get this in place before you go get that piece of paper. Please. Now, for those of you that don't like instruction, you're the 87. I'm telling you exactly what to do. Okay. And some of you are going to ignore me and you're going to do it your way. And I don't have a dog in that fight, but I'm going to tell you that when you don't have these things in place and you wind up funding everything out of your own pocket, you can't say I didn't tell you. And I told you for free, right? I'm telling you for free. I'm telling you, before you go file that piece of paper and pay the IRS, before you file that piece of paper and go get somebody to put up a website, right? And then you get that website made, and then you're like, oh, Jen, I got to redo my website. I got to redo it because it's not current. I have a social media page, Jen, but we don't really use it. I got to redo that again. That's more time and more money. Do it in order. Do it in order. Are you the person that gets the instructions out of the box and throws them to the side? Or are you the person that says, I probably need to know how to do this? I've never done this. I've never done this before. I probably need to know how to do this. Some of y'all are risk takers. Some of you don't mind paying for everything out of your pocket. That's your business, but you are weakening your business. I'm just saying. Your donors and your funders are not impressed that you're the only funder and supporter of your business. They're not impressed that you got a piece of paper and you don't have a plan to sustain your business that you want them to invest in. They're not impressed. Okay? The last thing I'm going to say is that after you got your case for support, then get your EIN number because now you're ready. The EIN number says, I'm ready to open a bank account. And how about this? You have your funding streams, you have your budget, you know where your revenue and income is coming from so that you can put something in that bank account. You got a bank account and you're the only one putting money in it. You got a bank account that has no money in it. You got a bank account and you're funding everything out of your own pocket. I'm telling you, do these other things first. And now you're ready for a bank account, right? Now you're ready to file that piece of paper. How you start your nonprofit, how you start your organization, how you start it, how you grow it, how you sustain it. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? how you start it, how you grow it, and how you sustain it. All right? Listen, I'm on your side, y'all. I am here to help make sure that you do this thing the right way. 87 out of 100, 87 out of 100 do it the wrong way with no foundation, with no plan for sustainability, and you're not able to compete for funding. I want you to be competitive. I want you to be aware. I want you to feel like you can walk into any room and represent why your business matters, not just your passion. I want you to be competent. I want you to be confident as the executive director. You are not the program director. You are the founder. You are the CEO. You are the person that casts the vision of the business, not the program. If you want to work your way out of all of those hats, do it this way. Otherwise, you're going to have that piece of paper and you're going to be stuck. Why are we stuck, Jen? Because I don't have a plan to raise any money. Why are we stuck, Jen? Because I don't know how to approach, how to communicate, how to articulate to donors and funders why our work is important. I don't know, Jen, how to speak about with clarity why our mission matters and the need that we're addressing. All I can say is my passion. All I can say is lots. And I'm not able to share impact or result. I'm not able to prove that we're meeting the need. Well, then that's why you don't have any money. You're not able to inspire. You're not able to educate. You're not able to inform. You're not able to introduce what you do to the people that would be supporting it. Our support comes from outside, not inside. Every business does. Every business is supported from outside the business. The customer comes from outside the business into the business. Why? Because the customer wants the product. The customer sees the product as valuable. The customer gives the exchange. But you guys are so internally focused on your passion, on what you want to do, that you've not considered, what do I need to give to the donor? What do I need to give to the supporter? What do I need to give to the contributor so that they can buy in, so that they can understand, so that they can be inspired and excited to invest and see this as important? That's not that piece of paper. That's not that piece of paper. All right, I'm done. Are there any questions? Any comments? Any questions? Any comments? Listen, my name is Jennifer Yarbrough. I am your nonprofit expert over 38 years of experience. I do this for real, y'all. I do this for real. I train leaders. I help leaders. We put together plans and strategies for nonprofit leaders. I do this for real. I build nonprofits to be sustainable. I build nonprofits to have the revenue needed to operate, to be able to pay for staff, to be able to hire help, to be able to expand program. And that's not that piece of paper. You've got to have knowledge. You've got to have clarity. You've got to know what to do after you start. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? I want to say thank you. Thank you for those of you that are liking. Thank you for those of you that are following. Thank you for those of you that have subscribed. Thank you for those of you that are sharing this. Will y'all help me get the name out? Will y'all help me get the word out? I am tired of the 87 nonprofits out of 100 that are stuck, that are struggling, and are operating on less than $30,000 a year. And a large majority of those nonprofits are led by people of color, not because of lack of money, but because of lack of knowledge. Will you help me get the word out? Will you invite people to come and to listen and to learn so that they know what to do and how to do it so that they can be competitive with those that do know how to get the funding, that you can also measure up and be considered? Will you help me ensure that more organizations whose missions really matter, that need resource so that their work can continue and grow, The only way that we can do that is by getting the word out and sharing real information. I'm your nonprofit expert, and it's my pleasure. I'm humbled to be able to share my expertise with you. All right. And for those of you that would grow from it, for those of you that would be inspired by it, and for those of you that are saying, Jen, I'm ready. I'm ready for my organization to be led professionally. I'm ready for myself to have the development to be able to know how to put together a plan so that I can share with others and train others within my organization. As the president, as the CEO, as the executive director, your job is to ensure that your organization has what it needs to be able to operate. Okay? I'm here to help. Now, again, don't get in my calendar. Don't call me talking about, Jen, I saw your YouTube. I want to talk to you about what to do. What do I do, Jen? I want to start my nonprofit. What do I do first? I'm telling you what to do first. All right? I've got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of videos that are here on this platform and others that explain, that go into detail. All right. I just did a 3-part series yesterday and today. Please go back. If you have not seen part 1, part 2, part 3 of the series that I just did yesterday, please go back and watch those. I did part 3 earlier today. Okay. I will be back here every day, sharing information, sharing resource, giving you tips and tools, strategies for systems that you need to have in place for your business to be competitive, for your business to be sustainable, and for your business to grow financially. It's not about the money. It's about the value of your product. We're not talking about the value of money. We're talking about the resources needed for the impact that is valuable and that you give to your community. All right. Thank you all very, very much for being here. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your shares. Thank you for those of you that have commented and engaged. Your comments, your engagement, your likes, your shares are so important to help me get the word out. If I have said anything that has caused you to say, wow, I had no idea, put that thought in the comments. Will you leave a comment for me? Thank you again for your likes, for your shares, for your follows, for your subscribing. It means the world. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers, and I appreciate you for being a part of this journey with me. All right. I love the work that we do. I love your heart to want to do it. I just want to make sure that you do it the right way. I want to make sure that you do it in the professional way, that you are able to not only start your nonprofit, but that you have the systems, the tools, the strategy, the knowledge of how to grow it and how to sustain it. That's important because we're dealing with people, people who need your mission, communities that need your success. All right. The resource is not your issue. There's no shortage of money, but we've got to share with them, your community, why what we do is important and how what we do affects those that support what we do. All right. Y'all have a good night. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And I will see you all tomorrow. All right. I will see you all tomorrow. I am Jennifer Yarbrough, your nonprofit expert.